Hello, I am Armin Bachmann. I'm product manager at GeneXus, and today I want to tell you about the latest news of GeneXus 18. To give you a brief introduction to GeneXus 18. This is the first version that we released after the pandemic. This GeneXus is a product of 2 very special years and a lot of learning. The world is moving faster. We live in a context of volatile realities, a context where reality changes continuously and in an accelerated way. In this context, GeneXus 18 proposes something paradoxical, to build something more complex in a simpler way, to build faster, but even so, managing to be future-proof. That is GeneXus 18. And it stands on these pillars that are divided mainly in 2. The first 3, which are related to what you can build and our proposal for that, and the last 2, which is about how we build and how we propose to build with GeneXus those solutions. In the first place, GeneXus 18 is supported on total experience strategies that aim at improving the experience with a solution for a company or an ecosystem, from companies and clients to users or even staff. With GeneXus 18, you can create new experiences and you get more adaptability than ever before. First of all, GeneXus 18 incorporates a new design system called Unanimo. Unanimo comes pre-installed with GeneXus, and with Unanimo, you can get a consistency throughout the array of solutions in the experience, from the web part all the way to mobile, from chatbots to screens with inboxes, or from screens with high and low modifications to those that are used for security management. All of this is done with this design system that is also very flexible. You can add whatever flavor you want to Unanimo. You can customize it for your company. And that customization is going to be also applied to all your solutions. Also, Unanimo is extensible. This means that you can create new components, extend them, extend existing components, create new screens that use Unanimo, and you can also use new design systems that will take Unanimo as a basis. So with GeneXus 18, you simplify development, you accelerate it by using Unanimo. But it's not only us who are working on this new accelerator. Our partners are also working on accelerators with the patterns. They're also helping to build systems faster. Sometimes you need to create experiences that are absolutely customized to a very specific scenario. You work with designers that make a specific design for that reality. And what's new about this is that with GeneXus 18, you can import those designs, both if the designer is working on Figma or if they're working on Sketch. Those that work in GeneXus, they will import these designs, generate solutions from those designs, and you will have something that will be very, very accurate and truthful to the original design. So with this feature, you can significantly reduce friction throughout the process, from the design all the way up to the implementation, that process that we call design ops. By simplifying, by reducing that friction, again, you're accelerating the building process of the solutions. Also, when such a customizable and customized design is needed. But all that flexibility and all that acceleration can be achieved because we have a new underlying element for modeling, the design system object. This design system object has a new specific language to model design systems. It is specific to model designs. This design system and this language is, on the one hand, very powerful, and on the other, very versatile. And I say powerful because with it, you can get the same expressiveness that you get with CSS for web so that you can have a high definition in terms of your design. And I mean versatile because with it you can model the design of all your solutions, both web and mobile. This design system object is then key to achieve maximum consistency, to make progress in a total experience strategy. On top of this, we have worked a great deal on flexibility. GeneXus 18 offers new UI controls, new charts, more flexibility in each of these UI controls, and more encapsulation. Allow me to highlight that, as always, GeneXus is going together with technological advances, generating for both the latest stuff in web and in mobile, and considering the state-of-the-art aspects in terms of security. The second pillar is super apps and mini apps. Allow me to share two quotes on which we are basing everything that we relate to super apps. A super app can contain millions of mini apps that, by the way, don't need to be so many. And each of these mini apps is dynamically loaded by the super app. Of course, it doesn't make any sense to load them all simultaneously. That's why a super app needs to be able to do it dynamically. But what's really important about this is that super apps enable new business models, new experiences, and new architectures. This means that there are competitive advantages such that ignoring this trend could be lethal for your business. At a business level, building a super app is a great tool for anyone that wants to grow their ecosystem. Let's think about, for example, what happens with a financial institution that has an application that is making payments, but now wants to expand that business so that different shops could include their application also in this super app. And when you sell through these businesses, the payment is done by the super app. This, of course, represents a great opportunity also for businesses. They will not need to implement all the payment system, all the identity management system. They can just base this on the power and the features given by the super app. So this is, of course, a great opportunity to make a business grow with partners. It's also a great opportunity to accelerate any business or any solution, because each mini app can be developed independently so that each of them will not have to implement a number of functionalities that are given to me by the super app. Also, super apps provide you with new experiences. At this experience level, specifically user experience, you will have new experiences. The apps that meet my demands as a user will be within that very super app, and you don't need to go to a store to find them. So this super app can guide you as to what mini app to use depending on where you are, or depending on what time it is. Or otherwise, you can try to find your available mini apps in the same super app. You don't need to go to the store to download it. This gives users new experiences as well. And third, we have architectures. This kind of system clearly needs very specific and special architectures that will take care of security, of the user's privacy, and you will see that you're running the work in parallel. You're accelerating the solution building process. With this architecture, you can have different teams working on mini apps that will integrate their work with the team that is building the super app. You're accelerating and working in parallel. What's new with GeneXus 18 is that you can build these super apps from end to end. You can build both super apps and mini apps. You can even transform existing native apps into super apps. As a matter of fact, we believe that these apps will be the ones that first will adopt the possibility of being super apps. So we're talking about native applications, handmade outside GeneXus, that are already out in the market, that already have their own users. Well, these applications, through this GeneXus technology, may be converted into super apps and get their advantages as well. With GeneXus 18, you can also model your super apps and your mini apps. And not only that, With GeneXus, you also get a mini app center, which is a catalog where you can publish your mini apps and you are authorizing them for certain super apps. Then super apps through that catalog will know what mini apps they may load and offer to their users. So once again, with GeneXus 18, you have an end-to-end solution to build super apps. With GeneXus 18, you can build that super app and therefore gain a competitive advantage. This is a global trend nowadays, and we are still well in time to see this as a competitive advantage compared to those that don't have a super app or that cannot build a super app. With our technology, this can be done. The third pillar is cloud native. With GeneXus 18, you can build from end to end solutions that will have a similar architecture to the one that you can see on the screen. These are highly complex architectures and highly scalable architectures that take the most out of the cloud. This is an Amazon example, but you know that with GeneXus you can build solutions cross-platform. So this example can also be applied to Azure technology, and we are working so that you can develop this on Google technology and on the main cloud providers. So with GeneXus 18, you can deliver modern, secure, and highly scalable solutions that leverage the cloud. And I want to say modern and secure because, for example, when you are generating for .NET, you're generating for the latest technology, which is .NET 6. And when you generate and compile, you're using the last Microsoft techniques for solution compiling, which are integrated with repository managers such as NuGet. So this is all done with the latest security features. And the same thing happens with Java. This is also generated for the latest Java versions, and we also use the latest build techniques. For example, we are integrated with Gradle, which we use to compile the solution, and we also use the repository manager called Maven in Java and as well as in NuGet.NET. And again, this Java solution has also the latest updates in terms of security. And speaking of security, security component, GAM, which comes integrated with GeneXus, is now a very thorough solution. It has all the necessary protocols to connect with the identity providers that are leading the market. Also, this goes together with other initiatives that are happening in the world so that users don't need to remember passwords, such as biometrical authentication or multi-step authentication that will also provide your solutions with better security. And this is modern and secure, but also highly scalable, using the latest technologies and services by the cloud. GeneXus applications leverage the functions of containerization of the cloud. They also use the database scalability features. For example, GeneXus 18 supports DynamoDB, and we are working on the Cosmos DB solution. It also uses service messaging and other APIs, and you can run solutions in serverless environments, which gives you flexibility at a very good cost. This takes us to the fourth pillar, which is knowledge-driven, which has been with GeneXus from its creation, because all our solutions are knowledge-based, and this is what gives this the possibility to be future-proof. It's a central capacity that GeneXus has and that we have reinforced in this version. Why? Because we see an accelerated evolution of solutions that goes in different directions. On the one hand, you can build a web solution, but quickly, maybe in a week, you realize that you also need to add the native mobile module, or that you need to add a chatbot. So you're moving really fast to a multi-experience, or maybe you start working on a monolith, but after a while you realize that the best to accelerate that evolution is to build microservices, or even a new microservice module if the business is requiring it. Or you can start building with one team, but end up building with multiple teams and having to work in parallel so that you make it faster. So we see that this is a natural evolution that happens in a number of systems, but to achieve this acceleration, this needs to be supported by knowledge. In that we are modeling knowledge. It is the only way not to have any sort of technical debt, not to have quality issues. You can accelerate because you're building your systems based on knowledge. And when you model that knowledge and the realities within a knowledge base, then you can infer and generate code. And that is the basis that will allow you to accelerate. And to achieve this, in GeneXus 18, we specifically worked on two aspects. First, empowering modules. The fact that we can model design systems and that you can package them and share them as such to other knowledge bases. That you can share, build and share as well, for example, your APIs. All of this is going to mean that when you build a system, you're doing so by compounding modules that have already been generated. And this is also going to increase the need to manage the different versions of those modules. And that is why in GeneXus 18, we have also incorporated an automatic dependencies management solution. Secondly, we've also worked on improving the experience of each person that is building with GeneXus, from those that import design to those that model designs, that build web applications or native mobile applications, testers, those who do deployment, those who are just starting with GeneXus, or those that have been working with this technology for years. To all of them, GeneXus 18 tries to make their work easier and accelerate software development. And this takes us to the last pillar, which is automated DevOps. Automating our processes and the life cycle of our solutions. To achieve that automation throughout the cycle, in a solution, you need to have the right tools, and GeneXus offers those tools, and it has updated them also for this version. We have specifically updated GeneXus Server and GXTest. GX Server is the tool that allows developers to work in teams, to have different versions of those solutions, and having different lines of production for each solution. And GXTest is the tool that will allow you to model tests and also automate tests in those production cycles to ensure a safe evolution that will not compromise on the quality of the solution. All these tools are also based on something that are the MSC build tasks. These are lower level tasks, but they are granular and they give you flexibility to those of you that want to build the line of production that you wish to. So using these MS build tools, we get integration with Jenkins and now again integration with Azure DevOps. Specifically for Azure DevOps, we have worked on facilitating and documenting integration so that we can have scenarios where you have to integrate the development throughout the lifecycle managed by Azure DevOps. Before I finish, I would like to give you a couple of recommendations. It's important to stay updated in terms of technology. Generating with the latest technology is key if you want to get the best security in your solutions. This is why I recommend you to update your versions and work in each solution with the latest GeneXus version. And in the same way that you need to update in terms of knowledge and technology, I would also like to recommend you to update your processes. Update and adopt DevOps cultures that will allow you to accelerate that life cycle of your solutions with these techniques. So you can take these ideas, you can get your integration, your continuous integration lines, you can use the tools that you have available to create those lines, to test those lines, in order to get adaptability to the new requirements that the business is demanding. Dear friends, with GeneXus 18, you can build fast, even for whole ecosystems. You're building based on knowledge that has been formalized. You are automating, you're accelerating, adapting, and evolving. With GeneXus 18, you're generating value in record time, and because your advancements are based on knowledge, Your investment is future-proof. Welcome to GeneXus 18. Thanks a lot.